Hi, my fellow seekers. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is less than 15 minutes, it's going to be on my IGTV video. Just letting you know, this video is actually going to be about the different dimensional selves that we all are capable of not only understanding, but achieving. If you're interested in this video, stay tuned. I promise you won't be disappointed. All right, seekers. So the first self that we are taught to know, as I say in my other videos, this is a self that was a product of society, of social norms, okay? This is a self that not only are we a product of, but this is a reflection of our limited perceptions of life. We aren't born this way, okay? I just want you to keep that in mind, right? In a logical sense, you aren't born this way. This is a product of, yet again, via society. All right, let me scoot up a little bit so I'm not too far away from the camera. Now you can see me. All right, so the 3D self is prominently known for these traits. All right, I'm gonna go down a list with y'all guys. If it resonates, it resonates. If it does, and if this is you on like without a doubt, then we got some work we need to do, right? Okay, first thing is the 3D self is money based, right? Second thing you got to know about the 3D self is that you've admitted probably most likely to yourself that you got a big ego. In other words, you've got a big shadow self that is consuming your everyday life. The third thing about the 3D self, you are at a low vibrational level. Basically you have this feeling of lack, a void, right, that you try to constantly fill. And most likely this comes from your comfort in being projective about your shadow self, and then also you got a poor diet. Once you start dieting better, you start eating more alkaline foods. Once you start eating more raw diet, more vegetables and fruits in general, start mineralizing yourself, you're going to raise your vibration. But since our world isn't even really about proper nutrition in general, okay, we may have fad diets and fast food, but all that does is deplenish your vibrational frequency. The fourth thing is you are consumed by the earth matrix. You believe that all this physical stuff is all you'll ever know. It's a limited perception. It's only physical, and in other terms, it's logical, right? The fifth thing you need to know about the 3D self is that addictions are a character flaw, right? It is what it is, right? There's no other self, no other version of myself except this is what you get. Next thing is you live life without reflection. You're like, what is the point? Why do I need to think about myself when I'm already perfect? Like, I'm already fine. Like, I don't have nothing to work on. You suppress yourself so deeply that you think that you have nothing wrong with you. In fact, there's nothing wrong with you, but you feel like you don't have nothing to work on with yourself. You're completely content. In other words, you're in denial of your true self, of your true potential. Next thing on the 3D list, you are easily led and you follow the crowd for truth. You really don't look within to find the answers of truth. You look outwardly, and in other words, next things on the list, you become and you stay in the unaware state, and your heart is closed off, right? And I'm sure you could think of some examples about that. But in other words, your heart chakra is completely closed off. Your heart center is just like, nope, not having it. I see what you're doing there. I don't like it. It makes me uncomfortable. So back up. My heart is closed, right? In other words, you are resistant to true potential. All right, guys. Now we have the next self. This is the 4D self. This is a self of post-awakening, right? Or this could be just a self pre-awakening. This is a fresh reminder of the self you were actually born into before the world falsely misled you, before the world falsely shaped you into who you are today. 444 when I said that. Keep that in mind. All right, the first thing we need to know about the 4D is that resonance is at a more soulful level. Second thing, vibration raises when you're going into the 4D self, right? Third thing is the universal laws are recognized. You give them a thought. You're not closing it off. You're not pushing it away, right? Universal laws, I will post a link on where to look this up, or you can just look it up on Google if you're curious. But just know they are recognized within your daily routine, within your daily life. Doesn't mean you put too much practice into them, but it doesn't mean you haven't acknowledged it and haven't put practice into it. It's kind of like this little happy medium. All right, the coolest thing about being in the 4D state, which is actually the sixth thing, is you are, I don't know why I said sixth thing. I'm sorry, I skipped ahead. I guess I want to talk about the sixth one, but the next one on the list is moving out of the victimized state, all right? The next thing on the list for the 4D self is clearing out addictive habits, which is one of the most daunting things that people do not want to face because they are scared to come out on the other side, right? The resistance is embedded so deeply, and that's the craziest part about this. You know, the clearing out of addictive habits can either be personal or it can be an external thing, okay? All right, so this is the one I accidentally went to, all right? But just know that maybe my higher self is telling you, whoever's watching this, that it's important. So this one says moving out of the toxic self into the authentic self. So when you radiate the authenticity, or when you even just get like a taste, like just a little taste of your authentic self craves to be more on display and more of, I don't know how to say this. It wants to be out and open, right? So you start to realize your toxic self starts to take a step back. You know how you tell people like you need to take several effing seats, right? I'm not gonna cuss, but I'm just saying, right? So when you start to get a taste for your real self, your toxic self can no longer sit in the same level as your authentic self. Next one on the 4D self list is that you start letting go of codependent or abusive relationships. And I feel personally in my path, that has been one of the most liberating things. I can assure you that has been the most hidden blessing in disguise. All I had to take was just to let the hell go. Next thing on the 4D self list is that your heart space can be opened. It can be, but just know it's not going to be always opened. It might be closed, but you are actively, progressively working to keep it open. So you have a goal, right? In order to be more vulnerable, in order to be more accepting of your heart space. You're not some sort of fucking wussy. Okay, I did cuss. I guess I take back what I said about several fucking C's. Whatever. You're not a wussy when it comes to expressing yourself. You're a little bit hesitant, a little bit timid, but you know now that being vulnerable is one of the most powerful things you can do. Next thing on the 4D self list is awareness and awakening. All right, you keep that open, right? The next thing we have is perspective moves out of the matrix, out of the 3D world, out of the physical world, out of everything you were born into, or the byproduct of social norms, of the societal norms, whatever. I am no longer concerned with that life, all right? Let's just say it has taken way too many years for me to just, I don't know where I was going with that. Ignore that. Anyway, your perspective moves out of the matrix and it is no longer limited. You are open to numerous possibilities and different doors and different ways. You are curious and you are searching within the self to find the answers. All right, guys, last thing. I know it's already going to be 9 minutes and about 30 seconds. Just know I'm really happy if you've gotten this far. That means that you are honestly on resonance and you are actively learning on how to progress yourself in order to move into the 5D or 4D state. All right, just so you know about the 5D state, this is a manifestation of our true selves. It is the reason why we are here. It is the reason why we are born here. All right? It is a light that was dimmed by the matrix and by the 3D self and the social product that was covering your light could never completely diminish it. It was always there. All right, first up on the 5D list is your heart center is open and it remains open. You don't close it off when something gets too tough. You're just love. You radiate that love. Next thing, the second thing on the 5D list is that your responsibility matches your actions, right? Third thing is you understand that money isn't necessary. That's a big one for me. I could care less if I'm just barely even $5 in my account right now. I am making it through and I trust that I will be in good hands soon. That's all you gotta do, let go and trust. You have to be open for the help. If you need help with money, ask for help, right? Don't be afraid. You're not less of a person. Your pride, which is fictional, isn't hurt or damaged. It's okay to be open and vulnerable. That's what I mean. Next thing on the list of the 5D self is that you are your own fucking leader. I'm just gonna say that right now. You are your own leader of yourself, right? Society plays no part in how you move in your day-to-day life anymore, right? Next thing on the list is you are definitely in your higher ascended self. There's no question about it. No question about it. Once you get to that point where you can't even, your past self would no longer be able to recognize who you are right now, that's when you know you are in your 5D self. Last, you're at a higher vibration and you're working right alongside the universal laws. You put them into daily practice no matter what you're doing. You don't pick and choose. You are constantly reciting the universal laws within your daily life. This is the most selfless thing about being in the 5D self, is that you are no longer being a service to just yourself. You are a service to others. You realize your soul mission. Another cool thing about being in the 5D state is that you are no longer governed by your shadow self. Your shadow self no longer governs your life anymore. And alas, you have no more codependency, no codependent relationships or addictions or low vibrational relationships. You see how things were all just not at your resonance, at your true soul level. So all I gotta say, if you made it this far, it definitely means that you are on the right path. And I will personally applaud you right now for getting this far in this video. I just want to say thank you, seekers, for watching, and I'm going to go ahead and cut this video short so I can upload it on Instagram, so ignore it if I ever said YouTube. But just know that you're capable of doing this, and I truly believe in you guys, okay? Take care, seekers. I hope you have a blessed new week ahead because it's going to be a ride.